forgot my cup. I rolled the titles and realised I'd taken a cup into the kitchen. That was embarrassing. Go a prop. Oh, the queues are getting longer. What queues? The queues to see the Queen lying in state. Yeah. We was watching it at home yesterday and watching the queues getting longer and longer and longer. Now they've got to Southwark Park again. The waiting time has swelled from something like 6 hours to 14 hours, and it's nearly 5 miles from Southwark Park to their destination. It's it's a new form of the Elizabeth line, and we can see some of the pictures now. Look at that. Look at that. And it's going to get worse because it's the weekend coming up. You know, I can imagine a lot of people would have taken off Friday because it's a bank holiday weekend. Take off Friday, have a 4-day weekend, and instead they're standing in a queue which, like I say, stretches from Southwark Park all the way to Westminster Hall, and they're saying now that there's now a queue for the queue. They don't want anyone turning up. Just don't come. Wait for the queue to die down. So yeah, it's what can you say? Meanwhile, they've announced that William and Harry will stand in head and foot of the Queen's coffin, not coffee, what am I saying? That's my coffee. Coffin, and the vigil on Saturday. Because again, the family are all going to take turns standing over the coffin, and I believe that Harry's going to be wearing his uniform. I'm rightly should say, really. I mean, it's a bit silly them stopping him. You know, he has got military service. Even Prince Andrew, you know. But yeah, I mean, it certainly is becoming a very big historical event. Meanwhile, the Chinese delegation has been banned from viewing the Queen lying in state. But you know, they're still trying to negotiate whether or not they can come to the state funeral. Meanwhile, Putin, our beloved despot Putin, is complaining. He thinks it's an utter disgrace that he isn't invited. Well, don't invade countries. I think his nose is out of joint because the Chinese might be coming. Again, they still haven't quite finalised. Remember we was talking about it yesterday, who's turning up. And Putin, I think he met with Xi Jinping, and apparently the Chinese aren't happy with him. They aren't happy with Putin because of that invasion thing. I'm just trying to find, because it is literally wall to wall Queenie. Here we go. Some people have been a bit naughty. They snuck their dog in to see the Queen. I don't know about that. Are you allowed to do that? I don't know. Mind you, I didn't say, did they ban dogs? I can't remember if that was on the list of prohibited things. I don't know. Yeah, the Kremlin says decision to ban Vladimir Putin from the Queen's funeral is profoundly immoral. I don't know. Maybe Queenie said no Putin. Meanwhile, in Switzerland, see, they've marked. This is Jerry Hofstede. He's a Swiss artist, and he decided to project the Queen, images of the Queen into the clouds, into the sky, and it looks quite. Again, it's like it looks like something CGI, but this was actually done for real. Here she is with Philip. So they were together forever, and the project's called Travelling to the Stars, and here's the Queen herself. Again, it looks like the opening titles of Superman the movie. I don't know if you probably don't remember that one. And here she is on a cloud. I mean, yeah, it's really cool. So yeah. So she's even inspiring art. We had tattoos yesterday, and we have cloud art today. Oh, this is interesting. This is an interesting thing. So Ben Kingsley. Now we know him. He's played all manner of folk over the years. Most notably, Gandhi back in the day. Richard Attenborough's Gandhi, which won loads of Oscars. But Sir Ben is playing another real-life person. This time he's playing Salvador Dali, and they've released a still picture from the production. And boy, yeah, he's kind of got the resemblance there. What do you reckon? Yeah? I can't tell you the story about Dali and his models because I can't. I want to, but I can't. Maybe on the late night one we'll talk about. Oh, this is breaking. Oh, this is the story of DJ Alex Belfield. Bellend to his friends, I believe. He was found guilty of stalking. Was it a 9-year campaign of abuse? And again, since his conviction, there's been other stuff come out. Ian Lee posted a very interesting video on his channel. Ian Lee is a broadcaster I've always had a bit of a fondness for because he's a bit of an outsider, and he's somebody who's again, he wears his emotions on his sleeve, and I've always been. I don't always agree with him sometimes, but I find his mechanism for doing broadcasting, interesting. It's kind of we have similar traits except I didn't do all the drugs. But yeah, Belfield was found guilty of stalking Jeremy Vine, among other people, and his ex-producers and a theatre blogger called Philip Dehaney. And he's a bit of a divisive character. And again, I only kind of picked up on this towards the end when it was kind of all coming together, because again I had no interest in him because he's a bit of a, I guess you could say he's a bit of a right-winger type. But I was interested in the outcome of the case because they were talking about this this was a new kind of stalking, online stalk, because he didn't actually turn up to any of these people's houses. He just kind of did everything via email and posting on Twitter. So as somebody that is in the online realm, I find this kind of aspect of the law really interesting. Again, as somebody who's been stalked and harassed, I'm interested in this. But yeah, Belfield was up in court today to be sentenced. Yeah, sentenced for his crimes. Because remember, he was found guilty last month, and today, 16th of September, he was sentenced. And Mr. Justice Sani says, he said your offences are so serious, only a custodial sentence can be justified. He added that in a pre-sentence report showed that while Belfield fully acknowledged the address to his victims, it also highlights you still appear to focus on the impact you and feel in certain aspects you've been unfairly treated. The judge told Belfield that while this was not traditional stalking, your methods were just as effective a way of intimidating victims, and in many ways much harder to deal with. And then he handed him 5 years in prison. a 5-year sentence for stalking via the internet. And this is making videos, Twitter, emailing. I mean, in Ian Lee's case, he even was phoning up into his show and pretending to be someone. And he's got a very interesting way of talking, because he likes to plant ideas. And the way he announces words, he doesn't say things outwardly. And he was talking to Ian Lee, and he was talking under a character, but it was his voice. You could tell it was his voice because he had the same mannerisms. But at one point he says, "You sound like somebody who's going to kill yourself." And he kept saying this, and he kept putting the emphasis on the words "kill yourself." Trying to plant that idea in Ian Lee's mind. He's a very dangerous character, and gone down for 5 years now. And I imagine he'll still play the victim, and he'll still try and screw money out of his followers. Well, you've all been had, haven't you? You've all been had. 5 years. There you go. So you shouldn't really stalk people. It's not very nice, is it? Shouldn't harass people on the internet. It's not very nice. Anyway, don't go to the Balearics. Yeah, I got caught by the Balearics once. Didn't half make me eyes water. I don't write any of this. Just make up as I go along. This is the story of a British tourist. I haven't named him yet. He's a 55-year-old and he lived in London. But he was on a trek near La Mola Lighthouse. Here it is. Here is La Mola Lighthouse on the island of Formentera. Formentera lady, dance your dance for me. That's probably going to get a copyright claim now. Shouldn't have done that. But yeah, unfortunately, the poor fellow, whilst he was investigating, exploring the cliff tops with his partner and friends, he slipped and plunged 400 feet to his death. But he was initially described as a Lebanese man, but police sources confirmed he was actually living in the UK and had a British passport. But yeah, emergency responders had to resort to drones, jet skis and helicopters to locate his body because he couldn't be seen from the top of the cliff after he fell. But they managed to find him. A civil guard helicopter found him some 50 feet out to sea. Oh, isn't that a shame? I mean, you've got to be so careful. But the lighthouse was actually featured in Jules Verne. He wrote about the place in his novel Hector Servadec and described it as the lighthouse at the end of the world. Not the bus stop at the end of time. The lighthouse at the end of the world. But yeah, the area where the tourist fell is said to have been protected with ropes designed to ward visitors away, as there was an incident 4 years ago involving a local resident. But they're still not quite clear how and where he fell, So don't go on holiday. Just stay at home like me. Just stay there. I mean, meanwhile in Ukraine, this is not a good story, but I need to talk about it because this is for all those people out there that seem to think that the Russians are justified in what they're doing. This is in the city of Izium, which has been recently liberated, and they found a mass grave, and they reckon they said initially 440 bodies, but now they're saying it might be 450, maybe even more. And some of these people have been shot, some of them victims of airstrikes and whatnot. And that's the cost of this illegal invasion. Meanwhile, they reckon that the Kremlin are a bit worried because their senior officials are hitting the bottle. They are drinking too much vodka. Senior staff are worried about the impact of the war. It's not working out for them, and so they're all drinking. And why wouldn't they? because they're beginning to turn in on themselves. Because the Russian Parliament is thinking of getting in those generals. Yeah, the Defence Minister Sergei Shoigu, they're going to call him in to answer some questions of why the Ukraine invasion has been so bad. That is why they're turning to drink, because it's all gone wrong, and people are going to be sent to the gulags, aren't they? These people. But yeah, you know, I said about the sex offenders and that, and the murderers. They are being shipped off to fight. More footage has emerged of them being sent off for combat training. Well, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? Ridiculous. Meanwhile, did you know today the iPhone 14 went on sale? But there were no queues at UK Apple stores. Do you know why? Because they're all queuing for the Queen, that's why. But in Singapore, Thailand, Japan, they were queuing like crazy. Of course they were. Because, you know, they're crazy. It's just a bloody phone. But it went without any ceremony. Normally, do you remember when they used to go crazy about the latest Apple product? I'm not worried about it anymore, are they? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Meanwhile, we're going back to the energy crisis. This is South Essex College. This has got a campus in Basildon. They spoke to the Southend Echo and they've revealed that they are introducing a 4-day week to combat the energy crisis, and they are telling their students to do homework on Fridays, so that they don't have to, you know, heat the classrooms. Don't have anything to be sending everybody home. They'll receive the same number of face-to-face learning hours, but they won't have the I guess the reading periods that you used to get. Them closing enough off and sending them home to save some money. And here's a picture of South Essex College. Here you go. So you know where that is. So see, it's beginning to bite. It's beginning to happen. It's beginning to happen. And it was a meteor that shot across Britain and Ireland. We featured it the last story yesterday. Scientists confirm, and they reckon it was travelling at 8,832 miles an hour. And here's a picture of it, because we saw the video yesterday. There it's streaking across the sky, and yeah, they reckon it crashed into the. Did it crash into the North Sea over Belfast? Yeah. Oh, sorry, North Atlantic, after travelling over Belfast. So, wow, it's amazing, isn't it? But there's on Twitter, there's a Twitter account called UK Meteor Network, which you might want to follow for all your meteor needs when there's an astral body flying through the skies. Who wants to look at some stomach churning food? Okay. Who wants to see, was it a skull made out of cooked meat? No? Rat milk? How do they milk the rat? How do they milk the rat? I do not know. Oh, now, don't get me wrong. I like gherkins as much as the next man, and I like hot dogs too. But that is a gherkin hot dog. Turin, not Turin. Turin's a place. And who can forget canned chicken? There you go. And probably this is the best one. This is cheese and tomato pasta. This is just foods people have been posting that are not very nice. Oh dear. But if you want some canned alligator, they leave the teeth on. Look, there you go. Really? Really? Or maybe you want some potato salad in a, I don't know, in a bottle. Bottle of potato salad, please. No. But that always reminds me of one of my favourite books. If I can find it, I'll put the link in because you might want to. Buy this one. It's a classic book. What one is it? It's of course it's Cooking with Seamen. You don't so much cook it, you knock them out. I just can't help myself. Just can't help myself. I can't. That passed a few minutes, didn't it? That was a diversion. A TikTok video, and that is the sound of brain cells rattling together. A woman has initiated a debate. Some might say it's a mass debate. She got a name? Renee Hogan, and she's an Australian influencer. No relation to Paul Hogan. Maybe she knows him. Her clip has been viewed more than 1.5 million times, and the screenshot kind of gives away what she's talking about. She was talking about how often she washes her bra. She washes her bra once a week, apparently. And some respondents admitted that they only put their bras in the laundry once a year. Once a year. And there was even a poll that you could it's a bit grim. Someone admitted to not washing their bra for 3 years. The missus is just going. Ever since I've lost weight, I don't need to wear a bra anymore. So this is what TikTok's all about, isn't it? Really, isn't it? Now this is good. This is an interesting story. This is a fella from it's from a fella from Chigwell. It's just down the way from just down the road from me. Danny Smith from Manford Way. Oh, they've actually named where he lives, in Chigwell. He's like I said, he's a habitual criminal, and he left a man to die in a road traffic collision after he crashed into 20-year-old Salim Ahmed, who was riding a motorcycle. He was driving a grey Audi in Redbridge on December 17th last year, and despite members of the public and paramedics trying to save him, Mr. Ahmed sadly died. But a witness made a sketch of Smith, right? And it's this sketch which enabled the police to find their criminal. And you're probably thinking, he can't possibly look like that. But the sketch was so uncanny. Look, they caught him just on the basis of that. Well, I bet the police looked at him and went, yeah, I know who that is. So yeah, they've got him. And he was sentenced to 24 years in prison. Good. Should have been more longer. Always longer. Again, because he fled the scene and play out to hunt him down. Do you want to see some people fighting on holiday again? Okay. This is on a Carnival cruise ship earlier this month. There was a verbal altercation by the Tides Bar, which is near the swimming pool on board the Carnival Sunrise ship, which then escalated into this. Go on, get in there, love. Go on. That just... Everybody was kung fu fighting. They're all getting stuck in. Why can't... Look, you're supposed to go on holiday to relax, to chill. Not, not beat each other's senseless, is it, Meanwhile, in Italy, there was a weather phenomenon called a water bomb, where 16 inches of rain fell within 2 hours. And it flooded streets of several towns in the Ancona and Pesaro Urbino provinces. They said it was like an earthquake, and we can see some of the footage coming out of there. It looks absolutely terrifying. 10 people have been confirmed dead, 4 are missing. The youngest, a girl about 8, and her mother are also on that missing list. Again, weather's changing. The weather is changing. Meanwhile, they reckon I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, it's a British TV show, is returning to Australia. But it might not be as simple as that, because Australia, alright, Australian trams, are suffering. Now, you can confirm or deny this. There's been an outbreak of an infectious disease called Q fever. I don't know. What is Q fever? I don't know. But yeah, apparently Queensland's health authority have encouraged residents in the Wide Bay region of North Brisbane to get vaccinated against Q fever. The rare bacterial disease causes fever, it's in the title, chills, drenching sweat, severe headaches that are often painful behind the eyes, muscle pain, weakness, fatigue and significant weight loss. And there have been 11 confirmed cases this year, double the average in the last 5 years. But yeah, cases of Q fever on the rise. They reckon it's spread through animal particles, including cattle, kangaroos and sheep. Look, here's some kangaroos for you, so you know that you're in Australia. There you go. So don't go anywhere, just stay at home. Just stay at home, everyone. Meanwhile, this is a good photo. This is Buckingham Palace. They managed to catch this footage of the palace shrouded in golden rays of light. Look at that. Oh, I think they're trying to tell us something, aren't they? Meanwhile, this, I don't know, have you ever heard of the Ig Nobel Prize? It's like Nobel Prize, but it's Ig Nobel. It's a little known satirical award, which is aimed at the sciences, and for people who do research that first makes you laugh and then makes you think. And at the virtual ceremony on Thursday, there was a Japanese winner this year, Professor Gen Matsuzaki, right? And his research was all about knobs. Yeah, knobs. He's an industrial design researcher at the Chiba Institute of Technology in Japan, and he analysed video footage of 32 volunteers turning 47 knobs of assorted sizes. And researchers deduced that to turn a knob wider than 1 centimetre, 3 fingers are normally required, with the shift to 4 and 5 fingers occurring when the knob exceeds 2.5 centimetres and 5 centimetres in diameter. The team concluded that we cannot turn a columnar control of smaller diameter with all 5 fingers. in the Bulletin of Japanese Society for the Science of Design. But yes, apparently this work was initially published in 1999, but since then his academic focus has shifted away to bag handles and umbrella grips. Yeah. Other awards at the ceremony included the Physics Prize for showing why ducklings swim in a line formation, the Economics Prize for explaining mathematically why success most and often doesn't go to the most talented people, but instead to the luckiest. Oh, luck, not talent, eh? And an international collaboration won the Peace Prize for designing an algorithm to help gossipers decide when to tell the truth and when to lie. There you go. That's the Ig Nobel Awards. I know I could do knob jokes. I could do knob jokes, couldn't I? You know. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do the knob jokes. How about sports news? All time getting on. I've nearly worn out my welcome. Sports news. Chess. The world of chess is shocked. Right? Why? Well, San Francisco native Hans Niemann, who's relatively new to the sport, right, won against Grandmaster Magnus Carlsen last week, right? The 19-year-old, like I said, he's new, and everyone's wondering how he beat Carlsen at the Sinkfield Cup in St. Louis, right? Right, now they reckon that he cheated. How did he cheat? I reckon that he had anal beads in his bottom. Right? Oh, no, hold it there. These were vibrating anal beads. And that he had an accomplice using, I don't know, an iPad or a phone, giving him hints, and the beads in his bottom would vibrate, telling him how to move. Yeah. Well, that takes a lot of skill, doesn't it? Because you've got to think about the vibration in your bottom, and then kind of relate that. He'd be sitting there going, and then doing the move. But yeah. And here's a picture of Nyman. Mind you, he does look like he might have something in his bottom there. But but even Elon Musk chimed in via Twitter. I mean, it is the bizarrest thing. Do they have to like examine their bottoms before they play? Meanwhile, in Beirut, there was a bank robbery. Yeah, a Lebanese woman, Sally Afiz. She's a 28-year-old, who's an interior designer. Right, robbed a bank. Yeah, she held up a bank in Beirut on Wednesday with a toy gun and walked out with $13,000. Right, and we have actually footage of it here. Here she is robbing the bank, right, and she's using a toy gun to get the money. Right, it's like a bit of a dog day afternoon thing because she was getting the money for her sister's cancer treatment. Right. Thing is, right, it was her own money. The bank, for whatever reason, decided to block a withdrawal that her family were trying to make for her sister's cancer treatment, and so she went in there and got the money in with a toy gun. And here's a picture, close up of the toy gun that she used. And here she is normally. One for the dads there. There you go, giving it a lot of front. So yeah, it's I I don't know. How many times have somebody robbed a bank to get their own money? Not many times. We have got an animal story. I found an animal story for you, right? And we're going to Bangkok. Oh, do we really want to go to Bangkok in Thailand? This is an office worker, right? This is CCTV footage, I might add, that was coming up. And she's walking through our office. It was a government building in Bangkok on September the 12th when, well, you'll see what happened. She's walking through and she gets attacked by a python. Yeah. She's attacked by a python. Let's watch that again. Look, it strikes. Boom! Because it was hiding under the chair there. Can you believe it? A government spokesman said the woman who was attacked by the python worked for the Department of Sericulture and only came to the building to visit a friend. She is now safe and has returned to her home in the Khon Kaen province. We would like to confirm it is unlikely that the snake belongs to the department, nor was it brought to the wildlife clinic. We follow strict measures where wild animals delivered to the department have to be tightly sealed in their compartments. Our officials believe the python may have simply slithered into the building from the street, as Bangkok have seen an influx of wildlife during its rainy season. So, but here we do have pictures of the aftermath and the python involved. Oh my goodness. He looks a bit pleased with himself, doesn't he? But she's all right. But yeah, apparently in Bangkok they have 60,000 snakes are caught every year. But yeah, monsoon storms between June and October causes widespread flooding across the country, and yeah, wildlife of all sorts, but in particular from snakes like pythons and cobras find themselves into areas like that. I'll tell you, you'd be looking under all the office chairs now, won't you? Anyone in the chat? I doubt it. Luke says hi. Karen says morning. Naz is in. Hiya. Miss says hello, Mr. and Mrs. Locke. Now, she's not here, but I do have a very relaxed dog. She's very relaxed. There we go. Mrs. will watch this in a minute, so she'll acknowledge you then when we have lunch. Mind you, it's almost lunchtime. Who else have we got? Chris is in. He says afternoon. Tom says hello. I need to listen to Caravan. Indeed. Now says I'm sick of leeches. Had 5 this week. I don't. What do you say to that? Are they? Was it a hobby? You collect them? I don't know. Miss says thank you so much for the Belfield latest news. Bless you. Well, that's breaking news. It's headline news. This is. Robert says, afternoon, I've got Charles III on the telly being subjected to trial by harp music in Cardiff. Oh, I'd like a bit of harp. If you're watching the Wrexham documentary, we had Charlotte Church singing. They did a little profile of Welsh Wales on the Wrexham show with Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. You'd have loved it. It told us all about Wales and everything, you know. It was very funny. Yeah? They did little comedy skits, and it was rounded off by Charlotte Church doing her singing. They were cruising for a bruising indeed. Payne says, did the Japanese chaps see video of guitarist controlling volume knob with a little finger though? Well, this is the thing. You always use your little finger. Anyway, I've gone on for far too long. I went on a bit then because it's Friday. I had some extra fun stories there. It's Friday, enjoy it, and we'll do this all again. And if you want to see the Queen, you better start queuing now. But you better get in that queue. Alright then, I think I've done enough damage for today. Thanks for watching. That was the news, and you better drink it up.